sure what we were doing and weren't sure what the response would be, and I'm just excited tonight because we've got this event going on up here, and our good friends Majid Al Shafi, Tony Clements is sponsoring an event downstairs, and they've got an equal number of people or more down there as well. So we go from kind of putting these things together to having two major events on the Hill in one evening in the same building, studying the same thing, which is the issue of religious freedom around the world. So I'm excited about that. I guess we didn't expect, I don't think that when we came back 6 years from the start that we would have the second full house, and I want to thank everyone for coming out. Some of you have been coming out for a number of years, and we're very happy to have you back, and we welcome new friends all the time. So without your commitment, we would just be talking to ourselves, and that isn't what we want. I want to thank my staff, Anna Marie, Tristan, Joycelyn. I want to thank Garnett Genuis and his crew for joining with us tonight to sponsor this 6th Annual Parliamentary Forum on Religious Freedom. There's coffee and refreshments at the back there for you. If you want to go out and get a cup of coffee or a juice or whatever during the evening, please go and help yourself to that. I think the strength of our forums has been our flexibility. We've discussed a number of subjects over the years. We started the first one with the perspective that various faith groups have towards persecution, and we heard an extremely compelling story of a father whose daughter was raped simply because a landowner felt that landowner's son actually felt that he had the right to do that. And 5 years later, the father could not tell that story still without crying, and I think it made a big impression on those of us who were there. We've heard personal stories of faith restrictions. We had an evening we talked about the application of Sharia law and Sharia courts in England, which was a very interesting night. We talked about Canadian history of religious freedom and an examination of Canadian jurisprudence over the last 2 or 3 decades, which I think people found interesting. And then last year we had a discussion of the role of faith in the global public square with Os Guinness. Tonight we shifted our focus a little bit to a country that's emerging as a world leader in many areas, but one that continues to have challenges over its repression of religious expression. It's a country that's been a partner of Canada's for many years, a country with which we have both economic and personal ties. And we want to talk tonight and listen about a variety of perspectives on the freedom of belief in the country of China. Each of our 3 sessions tonight will have presentations. I think we've got a great lineup tonight. We're going to follow with a short question and answer period time. So when we come to that time, there's a couple of mics set up for you, but we're going to ask and probably insist that our questioners be concise. We want to give opportunity to as many people as possible, and so we'll just ask for short comments followed by a question and then allow our presenters to answer that. I mentioned we have a great lineup, but this is the kind of lineup I think that almost reminds you of a PhD course. We've got former ambassadors, leading academics, human rights advocates, people from various faith groups who have a very personal understanding of the challenges faced by their communities in China. And our keynote address will be by Miss Anastasia Lin, human rights advocate, Miss World Canada, who's an accomplished young lady who has experienced firsthand the hard hand of the Chinese government because of her involvement with issues of religious expression. And we recognize also that there is a number of people who have been reluctant to appear, not just tonight but other times as well, for fear of reprisal in their countries. And so we're going to try to make sure that all perspectives are accurate here. And it's not new to our forum, but we do want to get a good representation of points of view. So we thank the people who have the courage to come out this evening. We want to start this evening with 2 presenters, 2 of the most knowledgeable Canadians on some of these issues. We're fortunate to have them here tonight, and so I'd like to welcome Dr. Andrew Bennett and Dr. David Mulroney to the front, and then I will read their bios and we'll begin.